my fellow challenge lovers. Welcome to The Challenge Historian, where we dive deep into all things MTV's The Challenge, past, present, or future. If it's happening in the Challenge universe, we are here to document it. I am your host and dedicated Challenge Historian, Jacob Hollaball. Thank you so very, very much for being here with me today on the long-awaited, and by long I mean 2 weeks awaited, cast reaction podcast to the Challenge 39 cast. We've known for a few weeks since they left the film. We've waited to see if any changes were announced, any additions were made, and we're still maybe kind of waiting on some of those additions to potentially be made. But at this point, we feel safe talking about the ones we know are there, and also we've turned off all ability to see anything new because gotta avoid those actual game spoilers, y'all. This will be your first and only spoiler warning. We're talking cast reaction only. Who went to film and was known by those powers that be to have started the first day of the season and be in the official cast. Everything after that, anything that actually happens, none of that will be discussed here because none of that is known by yours truly. We stay away from those, which means for those that, of course, are thinking the same thing, a lot of people are thinking out on them challenge streets right now, is this Invasion of the Champions 2? Well, I don't know. And if it is, I won't know because I won't be privy to that casting news because it'll be amongst probably a lot of elimination and daily challenge news and all other kinds of things that I'm going to stay far away from. And I'm guessing most of you probably want to stay away from too. So that's your spoiler warning. This is only about the cast, and that is it. Cast reaction podcast. We're going to break down full cast, give a handful of initial reactions, opinions about it. But first, programming notes, because of course, we've always got programming notes. All Stars 4. Still have no idea if they're going to air it or when they're going to air it. Still no announcement. Can't believe 2 weeks later we're sitting here and we still have no news from the last time we sat down to pod. But unfortunately we don't. But when we do, hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, are they really just going to are they just going to have just called a tax write-off and never show that? Like what is going on here? But when we find out about All Stars 4, a trailer, dates announced, anything, when All Stars 4 happens, and please, for the love of God, it's obviously going to happen, right? We will, of course, cover it here on the podcast. So that's probably the next thing. And if not, it's Challenge USA 2. And other than that, we've got this offseason chugging right along. I've gotten some amazing ideas sent in from you, the wonderful listeners, about topics we could cover here during the offseason. They've all been great. For those who would like to submit one still, keep sending them in. I need tons of them. Throw them my way. I'm not the best ideas guy. I can execute all day long, but I need your wonderful ideas at Challenge Historian on Instagram. Best place to send them, or the comments if you're watching on YouTube, also a fine place to leave them. But the next episode we do, which will be 2 weeks from today, is going to be the first one from a listener submitted idea, which was so fantastic. I was just immediately like, I've got to do this right now. It's from my guy Scott at Average and Savage on IG if you want to follow him, which is his idea, which was brilliant, and I love it, and we're going to talk about it at length 2 weeks from now, is what if they did X's or Rivals earlier? I believe in his incredible, Scott, just unbelievable job, laid out the whole thing for me, a bunch of teams, all these kind of ideas, broke it all down. I believe he had it if they did it as season 14. Let's say they went through the duel, and then immediately after the duel, they were like, okay, we're going to do this thing called Rivals or X's. Who would those teams have been? What would have happened? All of that. It's an amazing premise. It's an amazing thought experiment. I love it so much. We are going to do that in 2 weeks. So if you have ideas, submit for best pairings under those criteria. Again, if they would have done Rivals or X's, let's say somewhere between season 10 and 15. So we're talking those first 10 to 12 seasons, casts from those shows, things that happen on those seasons. Who would have been great Rivals? Who would have been great X's, pairs, the whole thing. So if you've got anything, send them to me. Again, comments on YouTube, DMs on Instagram, best place to send them. We're going to break that down. We're going to include a bunch of Scott stuff, anything you submit to me, my own thoughts, all of that 2 weeks from today. And again, 2 weeks because next week I've just got a crazy week. We're not going to try to do next week. I've got my brother-in-law's wedding, 20-hour car ride with a puppy again. I've got some other travel. I've got a crazy work week. It's just not going to happen. So we're going to take 2 weeks to prepare for that. And then I promise when we come back for that one, it will become officially every week, all off season long, however that off season ends up being. We will do some sort of topic, debate, list, something every single week on the show. So again, submit ideas if you've got them. Scott, thank you for that one. Can't wait to dive into that topic in 2 weeks. But for today, we're not doing that topic. We're doing Challenge 39. We're looking to the future. We didn't know if it was going to happen. And boy, is it not only happening, it's polarizing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are confused by it. Let's find out where I stand on that spectrum. I don't know. Maybe what's your expectation? Right now, you're about to find out very quickly right after this quick little tiny break. So make your prediction. What is this challenge historian going to think of Challenge 39's cast? You're about to find out. Let's go. Okay, first things first. We've got to read the cast all the way through. We're going to give you their name, their original show, just to remind you how many challenge seasons they have done. Spoiler, it's not many. And the show they were last seen on, or the challenge season, they were last seen on. Then we will get into some different reactions, but you've got to hear the full list first. I'm sure you've seen it. Maybe you haven't. Maybe this is the first you're hearing of it. If it is, that's really exciting. Buckle up, because, well, one, if you're in a car driving right now, definitely buckle up, because you always should. But otherwise, just metaphorically, buckle up, because this is a hell of a list. I was personally kind of shocked. That's my first opinion to share with you. But before we get into too many of those, here's the actual list itself. Let's go with the female cast first. In alphabetical order, I believe we've got it here. Yeah, that's what it looks like it is. So, female cast, 12 known cast members. Berna, originally from Survivor Turkey, 1 season, which was Spies, Lies, and Allies. Colleen, The Mole, Germany, 1 season, just saw her on Ride or Dies. We've got Jessica from The Bachelor Australia, her 1 season, The Challenge Australia. Mel Reeves, back in the house, X on the Beach UK 2, 3 seasons of The Challenge, last seen on Total Madness. Michelle Fitzgerald, Survivor twice, 3 seasons now of The Challenge. If you include USA 2, which she is also going to be on, that is filmed or just wrapped up filming sometime, but then we also last saw her on Ride or Dies. By the time this season airs, we will have last seen her on USA 2. Mariah is back, 1 season, Ride or Die, that was her debut. Nerys is back, Are You the One, 1 season of The Challenge, Ride or Dies. Olivia, Ride or Dies, 1 season from Love Island originally. Raven is back, also 1 season only, Ride or Dies. Huhui from Challenge Argentina, Challenge World Championships, she is back. Big T is in the house, out of retirement. The chef is in the building. 4 seasons under her belt. Originally Shipwrecked UK, Spies, Lies, and Allies. Last time we saw Big T. And then rounding out the female cast is Zara, originally from the Royal World, which I wasn't actually familiar with that all the other times I've talked about Zara, because we've seen her twice, Challenge UK, Challenge World Championships. I need to know what the Royal World is. I need to probably watch that show. Those are the 12 women that make up the initial cast. Again, this is the cast that starts day 1. From there on, if anything changed, if anyone comes in, substitutes, mercenaries, invasion people, anything like that, which we're going to get to, we don't know if that is happening or who that would be. Now, to the male cast, we've got maybe the most shocking name on this list to start it off. Asaf from Are You the One for 1 season of The Challenge. That was Total Madness, where he went out first. Callum from X on the Beach, Peak of Love, some other shows in 1 season, Challenge UK. Kieran, Bachelorette Australia, 1 season of The Challenge. That would be Challenge Australia. Chauncey from Ride or Dies coming in for his 2nd season. Corey Lay, 1 season, Spies, Lies, and Allies, originally from 12 Dates of Christmas. And I believe he will forever hold the title as the only person to make the jump from 12 Dates of Christmas to The Challenge. I believe we can officially put that one in the books if we had not already. Ed Eason is here from The Circle, 1 season of The Challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies. Emmanuel, Survivor Romania, 1 season, that would be Spies, Lies, and Allies. Horacio, Exaltlan, Estadios Unidos, is that Exaltlan? I believe I should have practiced this. I learned it last season, and I've kind of forgotten now. But that amazing show that he's from that I need to watch way more of, 1 season of The Challenge, Ride or Dies. Huey is back, Big Brother, UK 17, 1 season of The Challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies. James Locke, Only Way is Essex, original show, 1 season of The Challenge. That was the Challenge UK. A lot to talk about with him in that season. Jay Starrett, Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, 3 seasons of The Challenge, most recently seen on Ride or Dies. And Kyland Young, Big Brother 23, 1 season of The Challenge. That would be Challenge USA. So, Berna, Colleen, Jessica, Mel Reeves, Michelle, Mariah, Nerys, Olivia, Raven, Huhui, Big T, and Zara on the female side. Asaf, Callum, Kieran, Chauncey, Corey Lay, Ed, Emmanuel, Horacio, Huey, Lockie, Jay, Kyland on the men's side. Wow. All right. Notice any patterns there as we went through that? Did you pick up on anything, in particular that number of seasons they've done? Well, let's run through some of those numbers for you real quick. Here's just a few numbers for you. Let's start with seasons played. How many seasons have all of these people played? Now, if we don't count the international spinoffs as a season, meaning USA, UK, Argentina, Australia. If I don't count that as in the, obviously that's a season, it counts everything like that. But if I'm calling someone who's only ever done the spinoff one and basically never played with MTV folks before, if I call them rookies, then we've got 5 rookies: Jessica, Callum, Kieran, Lockie, and Kyland. Now, again, they've done a season before, just not with MTV folks here in the States. And again, obviously not here in the States. This season is in Croatia, but you get what I'm saying. Those are the 5 closest thing we have to rookies. We don't have any true rookies, but using the same criteria, people doing their second season of the 24, 15 of them are doing their second ever season. Berna, Colleen, Mariah, Nerese, Olivia, Raven, Hahui, Zara, Asaf, Chauncey, Corey, Ed, Emmanuel, Horacio, and Huey. Again, asterisks on a few of those. Zara and Hahui, this is technically their 3rd season, having done their spinoff and then World Championships. And really, those 5 rookies are kind of doing their second, but you get how I'm doing this again. So 5 rookies, 15 second-timers, no third-timers, 3 people that will be doing their 4th season ever. That's Jay, Michelle, again, because Michelle is currently doing USA. So if you add that in, this eventually will be her 4th. And DJ, Mel Reeves. And one person is the super vet of super vets this season, doing her 5th season. That would be Big T. 5 rookies, 15 second-timers, 3 fourth-timers, and 1 5-timer. That is, I don't know the numbers. I've got to check challenge stats. I'm sure they have put out some great numbers on this, but this is by far the least experienced cast we've had in forever. Just the fact that there's no, Bananas or CT or Wes or Anissa or someone with like 20 seasons under their belt to throw off the average. Like, this is by far the least amount of seasons anyone's ever come in with. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, because maybe if you count the spinoffs, you're like, well, some seasons have had half rookies and that's a bunch of zeros. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it certainly feels like it. As for some more numbers for you, USA versus international, we stay very international with this cast. There's 11 folks from USA television programs in this cast. There's 13 from international programs. 6 of those are from the UK. Melissa, Big T, Zara, Callum, Huey, Lockie. Look out for a possible UK alliance from the start. Australia has 2, Jessica and Kieran. Turkey, Romania, Germany, Argentina, and Mexico all have 1, Berna, Emmanuel, Colleen, Hahui, Horacio, respectively. So that's your USA to international. More international than USA, but again, a lot of these international folks are obviously, all of them are doing their second season, really, that's airing here in the States, or that's a part of the MTV network, et cetera, but still 13 to 11 international to US breakdown. And then the final number to talk about, champs versus non-champs and finalists versus non-finalists, because guess what? There are 0 champions here. 24 non-champions are in the building. As for just finalists, there's only 6 of the 24 that have made a final before, and 3 of those have the little asterisk that are Zara, Kieran, and Callum, who made it. Zara and Callum on Challenge UK, Kieran on Challenge Australia, which we count, but also they haven't made one of those finals were just as grueling and big and long and everything as the USA and the World Championships one. So, it was the real finals, but you get what I'm saying. I had the little asterisk before. I'll have it here. 3 have made MTV final before. That would be Horacio, Olivia, and Mel Reeves. 18 of the 24 have never seen a final. So, we've got a very young, a very inexperienced group. And guess what? I love it. A youth movement without actual rookies. How brilliant of them. How wonderful of them. Now, this is where this cast is super polarizing as far as the reaction so far that I've seen from other podcasters, other people that write about the show, and just general fandom and comments everywhere across social media. I've seen everything across the spectrum, from folks who, like me, love this, absolutely love this, to folks that absolutely despise this and are just like, nope, I'm done. I guess I'm done with the challenge now. It's over, done, bye, goodbye. Which I just can't believe. We'll get to more of that later. And then some people everywhere in between that are like, this is cool, but they didn't pick the right people, to others that are like, this is it's all over the spectrum. It's all over the spectrum. But I love it. I think it's the right thing to do. I hope it actually stays this way, and there is no invasion concept, because we'll just get to it we'll touch it right here, and then we'll come back to it later on. That the rumors out there are, given this cast that we've just gone through, that hey, this smells a little bit like an Invasion 2. Like, where are the vets? Where are the champs? It's very telling that there's no champions of the 24. It's also very telling it's only 24. Flagship seasons are more closer to 30 traditionally and in the last few. So could this be, 24 gets down to 16 and then 8 champions are brought in, whatever? Could this be Invasion 2? I don't know, but I hope not. We'll come back to that later. If someone looks at this and says it's lame and anything negative, then I just don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. Maybe these are not the people you would have selected of recent rookies, recent spin-off contestants. I get that. But I think they did a pretty good job of picking people. And regardless of what you think of the people they picked, the idea, the concept of just giving a full crop of 24 relative newbies a shot to make a name, build characters, just kind of refresh this whole thing is great. And I love it. And I think it's the right approach. Plus, along with trying to build some new character arcs for the first time in like forever, and not having any new people just, be piggybacking. Like, the only new character arcs we've really built are usually not because they're purposely piggybacking on veterans and older players in the game, but just because by happenstance, there's like 3 interesting new rookies, and the rest are, these super vets, and it's how they interact together. It kind of builds the storylines. We don't actually get a whole lot from the new people. So we're not going to have that, where they're going to get their own story arcs in some way, but they're also getting a lot younger again. That's a good thing. There's a lot more single people. There's been a couple seasons recently where it's like, is anyone in this house single? And romance isn't the number one thing that drives the entertainment level of this show, but it sure fucking helps. All right. It sure helps. It really does. And so we've got a bunch of single people. They're younger. There's not too many families. I don't think we're going to get too many montages of looking at kids' photos during this season, anything like that. And fingers crossed, they're filming right now in Croatia. It is the start of summer, so maybe they get warm enough weather. Maybe there's a nice pool at the house, and we get a little kind of old school, just winning combination potentially. Young, inexperienced, single, all the things, given the spotlight to make a name for themselves, to build a character arc for themselves, to build a story. It's all there. The potential's all there, and I love that they went in this direction. Now, if they did a ride or die style cast again, I think it would have signaled that they were just like bleeding this thing out to get to season 40, and then we're going to be like, Challenge USA is the new show, all stars for former MTV people. It's done. Flagship, as you know, it is gone. If they would have done ride or dies, there's a bunch of older people again, I would have thought they're just trying to get to season 40, and that's it. This cast signals to me they think they can keep the Flagship franchise moving along just fine if they can build some new stars. If we can get a full crop of new, interesting people that we're devoted to, that we're entertained by, that we're interested in seeing where they go and how relationships change, and everything that used to happen over the eras of the show that is somewhat a little bit died out in the most recent eras because of so many people being around for so many seasons in a row, combined with so many, the Anisas, Bananas, CTs, and Wes's of the world, those 4 specifically being around, just still always being in every season. The more OGs they brought back, which is amazing to see, but then it's like suddenly, 2/3 of the cast debuted before season 15, and it's like, okay, well, like, we're not giving the new people time to shine, so we can't build up any new people, and that makes your show slowly die out. This is a step in the right direction in my book. But, and it's a big but, what if it is Invasion 2? Let's just go back to it. Let's get it out of the way right here now. What if it's Invasion 2? It honestly probably ruins it. Not ruins it. Ruins it strong. Because one, Invasion of the Champions, good season. Had a lot of good stuff from that season. But you might remember, if you go back and watch that season, you're like, a lot of the good stuff happened before the champs were invited in, when they were sitting in whatever they called the basically Survivor-esque, beach that they were living in, trying to earn their way into the Oasis, and all the stuff that happened there, like some amazing stuff. A bunch of relationships happened that led to rivalries and pairings and stuff in the future. It was all kinds of amazing stuff happened on that season. So, that could happen again. Maybe if they do it halfway through, we'll at least get that first half to give those people room to breathe and, not a total loss. But still, I think if they could stick to their guns and just say, nope, this isn't Invasion. There's no champs coming. We gave them all the season off. It's just y'all. It's just y'all. Have someone win. have all these new stories be developed, these new arcs be developed, and then even better, all those super vets, like, if no one is introduced to this and it's these 24 and 2 people out of these 24 win, Bananas and many other people, but specifically Bananas, is going to talk so much shit about, like, oh, it's JV squad, oh, it doesn't even count, he didn't even beat anyone that's ever won before, this, that, and the other. So it's just going to, like, stir extra shit up on the side. Like, it's going to be great. But if they do Invasion 2, then the only thing I will say that I hope is that it's not the same format as Invasion was, of going to teams and then back to individual. That was the one part that kind of really screwed up that season a little bit in my eyes, was they switched to teams and the one team dominated the whole time and then they switched back. So if they introduce champions, just keep it individual or pairs, whatever it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be individual. We'll get to that in just one moment. But I hope it's not, the team thing. Just let it be individual the whole time, which would make it hard then on the champs coming in. They would have the numbers against them. It'd be a bit of penalty for coming in late. That I would be into. Like, really throwing on the Invasion of the Champions, they were kind of throwing the newbies to the lion's den of the champions. If they did the reverse and it was like, champs, you get to enter the game, but like there's 16 of them, there's 8 of you, and it's purely individual, like, y'all are going into these eliminations. I'm just going to let you know up front, unless you could do some damn good politicking or win some daily challenges, what have you. I would be down for that. So if they do Invasion 2, that's the version I hope it is. But yeah, we'll see if that comes to fruition. If not Invasion 2, though, if not, and fingers crossed, then what format would it be? No recent themes fit this group. Like, none of the recent ones, I mean, I guess technically, like, Spies, Lies, and Allies 2 fits. Double Agents 2 fits because they didn't actually impact the format of the show. So fingers crossed they don't go down that route. But it would, if they wanted to, really wrap a theme around this, it would have to be an older one, if anything, because just looking at the cast group, there isn't, like, it's not going to be like Rivals or X's. That doesn't really fit with this. It's not going to be Ride or Dies. It doesn't really fit with this. There's no, like, seasons or teams that make total sense. Plus, I doubt it's a team season, so we even roll out some old, like, Inferno Gauntlet, anything like that, although team season would be amazing. I'd be definitely here for it. Can't be Inferno Gauntlet. It leaves one possibility. The Duel 3. The Duel 3 is the only possibility I see. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I just kind of happened. The Duel 3 is the only possibility of, like, any theme that would be like, if they were going to use an older theme, then that one could fit and would be awesome. Otherwise, it's something brand new. Maybe they call it, like, a Second Chances, just whatever, some sort of, like, challengers. I don't know. But now they say challengers, like, I guess it could be the Ruins too. Challengers versus champions, and they bring in champions, and they could, I don't know, but it's Invasion. The champions would be there from the beginning. Now we're just making up things that are obviously wrong. So if not Invasion 2, maybe it could be the Duel 3. Maybe it's just brand new, something like Second Chances, something like that. I don't know. I just want it to be individual. I want it to be individual. I want last place to go in. I want the winners to pick the other person to go in. And if somehow it is Duel 3, then using the draft order from Duel would be amazing. I would love that. So just make it Duel 3. That would be the best. That would be the best. Invasion 2 would be cool, depending who they pick to invade and how they set that up. Duel 3 would be better. Stick with your guns. Stick with the young people. Okay, that was some high-level stuff, but now let's go back through this cast one more time and give some actual reaction to each and every one of these people quickly. We will not be too long-winded with this. Quick little thoughts, like, don't like, reaction, what have you, to each individual cast member, because, again, I love this group, so be prepared. There's not going to be many that I'm too down on. Most of them pretty amped up about. Let's go through the list again. Starting with the females, alphabetical order, same as before, because copy and pasting the list was much easier than retyping it in some new order. Here we go. Female cast. Starting with Berna. She was good. I think she'll be good again. I'm almost sure of it that she'll be good again with given a little bit more spotlight. I saw a lot of possibility with her. Good choice. Colleen. I'm going to be the asshole here. I'm going to be the asshole twice during this list, and I'm going to point out what I do every time, and I always feel like a dick, but it is what it is. English as a second language is going to be an issue because, her previous season, you got to be with your partner. They could speak in German, and then not have to worry, only have to worry about that when speaking with the others. And so, like in an elimination, it wasn't a big factor for them. Although, were they the ones that were told to speak in English during their? I forget. Did that happen to someone? I don't even remember. But anyways, I know I'm an asshole for even bringing it up. Potentially, maybe some of you think that. Maybe some of you don't. You're like, I'm thinking about that too. But if not, she will be amazing. I love her either way. I really enjoyed her on Ride or Dies, but I do a little bit worry about the fact that there's only a couple people who are going to have the English as a second language. Potential issue within this house. Colleen, though, is amazing and really good at reality television. Glad she's here. Jessica from Australia. Memorable on Australia. Thought then that she would fit great on the Flagship. Here she is. High expectations. Melissa. Incredible to see Mel back. I love her. Straight up star on her seasons. Was absolute star. Can't wait to see her be one of the vets of the house. How she plays that. It's going to be so fun, and they picked so well. Spoiler, I'm going to say something similar about Big T, but Mel and Big T as the specific people that are like, not like you guys are like the two of the 3 to 4 most senior veteran members, experienced members of this house. Mel, you're one of 3 people who's run an MTV TJ's final before. Like how those specific people and Mel specifically handles like getting to be that position in the house fascinates me. Love it. Star. Happy she's back. Michelle. I was big on Michelle during both of her seasons so far. She's clearly at this point being primed as kind of one of the new faces of the show, and I think that is exactly the correct decision. I love her. I adore her. I enjoy watching her on this show, any show. Fantastic selection. Her and Jay potentially taking the early, like, running this house vibes is going to be great. Love Michelle. There's nothing. Number 1 draft pick for me. If you told me this was the idea, the type of cast you're going to put together, number 1 draft pick, Michelle. Boom. She's here. Thank goodness. Mariah. Potential is there. Potential is there. I enjoyed Mariah on Ride or Die. I will say, let's just see what she does on a season when she isn't Fessy's partner who, quote, his quote, often quote, brought her there, end quote. Let's see what she does without being attached to Fessy and without having Bananas there to end up dating. Because really, if people liked her anyways, but it was a lot to overcome for a lot of fans of like, wait a minute, you're Fessy's partner, so you're like his ride or die, and then you go into the house and you start hooking up with Bananas. There's a lot of people out there who are like, strike 1, strike 2, so she might not have many strikes left with some people, but I think she has a lot of potential. I'm excited to see her without those 2 people in the house and how she does. Next up, Nerys. Absolute star. Thank goodness she is here. Thank goodness she said yes. Star, star, star. Olivia, same thing. Absolute star. Thank goodness she's here. Thank goodness she said yes. Top draft picks from last season of the show, Ride or Dies. Top rookie draft picks from last season, Ride or Dies. Nerys and Olivia were 1-2 for me, for sure. Thank goodness they both said yes and had the availability. Then we've got Raven. She was kind of lost, to be honest, in the lengthy Ride or Die season. Like, because they went out early, but Raven was giving us a lot early on, and we supposedly didn't even see the big argument. She was one of the ones a couple episodes in after she got eliminated was like, wait. They didn't show this, and this that happened, and like how? Like there was big blow-ups, there was big arguments, big fights, not even shown. So she was bringing it. It was just a little lost because she went home early, and then the season dragged on forever, and so we kind of a little bit forget, but good selection, bringing her back in. Next, we've got Huhui. Asshole alert again here. We'll say this was the second person. The language barrier has me concerned. I also haven't watched Challenge Argentina, so I don't have a great feel for her. I'm just going off World Championships where her and Nelson end up going out pretty early. She's fun. She was great. But that language barrier was definitely there, and that was on a season where she at least had some other folks from her show speaking her language there, and they all just got picked off one by one right from the start. So who knows? We'll see. But again, it's a tough grade for me because I haven't watched Challenge Argentina yet. But Huhui is here, and I am glad that they brought at least one person from Argentina. I'm glad they got some representation from each of the international spinoffs. That was a very good decision. So she's back for technically her 3rd challenge season. Big T is next. The chef is back in the house, baby. The now official chef, after hitting up the culinary school, graduating, doing the damn thing. She's coming out of retirement. And look, she's been amazing on all 4 seasons she's done. She was the absolute shining light of Double Agents and Spies, Lies, and Allies, for sure. without a doubt. And I'm all for her just going into the house and be like, announcing like, I'm Queen T, veteran, supreme of the house. Everyone bows to me. I run this shit. I'm impenetrable. You can't target me. I'm just everyone's best friend, everyone's worst enemy. I run this shit. I'm Queen T. It's oh my God. I'm so ready. So ready, and thrilled that she wanted to come back and do this again, and glad they kept on calling. Finally, on the women's side, Zara. She's been a good addition on both of her seasons. She's a great addition here. A good choice. Again, love they're bringing folks from all of the international spinoffs. Good choice there. Now to the male cast, starting with Asaf. As I said before, probably the most shocking name on the list, but I'm actually kind of here for it. I do. My first initial thought, I was like, man, if they were going to have one veteran come in, let it be Nani. Just so Asaf, maybe he hasn't been paying attention. Maybe he hasn't been watching. If you don't remember, he was only on one episode of Total Madness, but he did hook up, make out with Nani, and then get eliminated by Jay in a pretty interesting and cool, kicking each other through a glass wall, hanging in the air elimination. But memorable one episode run for him. I wish Nani was here, so maybe he would like go in and be like, oh, yes, oh, I'm familiar. Yes, I can flirt with her. It'll all be good. Be like, no, you can't anymore. He's a dancer. I think I didn't do my research, but I think he's a dancer. And if that research that I didn't do is correct, could we get some dance-offs between him and Emmanuel? Could just the first elimination be the two of them in a dance-off of some sort? That would be fun. Are they going to get the Emily Seabaum treatment of like, Emily's here, swimmer, professionally, we got to do some swimming stuff? Are they going to be like, hey, first daily challenge, you got to dance. Good job, Asaf and Emmanuel. You win. Could happen. I don't know. But I was shocked by his name. And then I was like, this could work out. I think I could get behind this. So that's Asaf. Callum was fantastic on the UK, will be fantastic on the Flagship. Lock it in. Kieran, same thing. Great on Australia. He had, if you didn't watch that season or listen to my recaps, I thought he had the best possible comeback anyone's ever had from cheating on your girlfriend in episode 1 of a season to by the end of it being endearing and lovable and just super entertaining and great. Again, not condoning the cheating on the girlfriend, just saying the best possible, whatever the road after that, after cheating on your girlfriend in episode 1, he walked the best possible road back as far as the rest of the edit in the episodes went. Not sure his relationship status coming into this. Again, didn't do any research, up-to-date research at least. But either way, he will bring entertainment. He is a great selection. Chauncey is next. Surprised that Chauncey is here. Not that he got an invite back. Definitely should. Like Chauncey a lot. Glad he's back. Just was surprised given the birth of his son right there, like boom, right into the challenge house again. But you got to take the opportunities where they come. And, if I'm not a parent, I don't know if this is a proper argument, but if you're like, hey, I am going to do this show again at some point during this child's life, when should I do it? Infant stage, maybe. There's arguments, pro and con arguments on all sides, but I don't know. He's here, fresh off a child. I don't know if, I'm a big NBA guy. Sometimes, and really across sports, sometimes when you have the child, suddenly you go on this crazy playoff run. Sometimes you kind of flame out. Your focus is elsewhere. Who knows which way Chauncey's going to go? Maybe he's the Fred VanVleet of this season, and he's just going to be like, had a kid, came to the house, fucking dominated, got that title, went back to that child. Who knows? We will see. But this season feels more right. The ride or dies environment for, with Amber wasn't the best way I feel like for him to start off in the house. He's a little bit of a quieter guy, it seems. And so being pigeonholed is like, you're here with Amber for some reason that no one can ever explain. People don't always like her. So now it wasn't the right situation. I don't think this feels more right. Next up, Corey Lay, 10 out of 10, had to have him back. Absolute gold in the few episodes he was on. Spies, Lies, and Allies, has been gold on social media, talking about the show ever since. I am thrilled that Corey Lay is here. Thank you. Next up, Ed, unexpected, but ecstatic. If you listened to the Spies, Lies, and Allies recaps way back when, I love Ed. I did not think he'd ever get invited back. Personally, I just thought, not going to happen, but I am besides myself excited that he did. I will be rooting for him over everyone else. I think he's got a great shot. He's just amazing. He's so perfect for these types of shows. I mean, it's just really, really wonderful. And as you can hear it in my voice, I am so glad that Ed is back. I really, really, really was flabbergasted by this one. I just thought that I didn't think he was going to be getting calls, but good job by you, casting department. You got that one right, at least in this historian's book. Emmanuel's next. I wasn't as big on Emmanuel as most on Spies, Lies, and Allies. Most people were super big on Emmanuel in Emmy. The two Romanians, rookies, making it all the way to the end, almost to the end in Emmanuel's case. But I think part of that one was they had plenty to love. I'm going to get to that. But also that people were a little down on the season. So it was like the couple things we like get lifted up a little extra, where I was like, I'm a little higher on the season than most people. So I'm kind of like a touch lower on the couple things you're propping up as like, here's the shining stars of the season. But I have appreciated the shit talking online during that season and after that season. I respect that he was definitely really good at the games. And I think in a house without the vets, he could be absolutely awesome. Like he could be flame out and I'd be like, oh, we don't really need that guy again. Or he could be the MVP of this season. It could go either way. If maybe he really is the Romanian Jordan, or Jordan is the USA Emmanuel. Let's find out. I'm kind of excited to see. Then we got Horacio. Absolute star. Thank goodness he said yes. He will be most people's pick to win. He will be the person most people hope does win. He is the new fan favorite. Him and Olivia riding high. And that's just going to be juiced up even more by the fact that there's no vets that people love in this house. So it's just, all these young people, they're coming off, with the highest favorability ratings for rookie seasons almost ever. And everyone loves Horacio. I love Horacio. I'm glad he's back. Yes, he looks like an early front-running favorite. Everyone's saying the same thing. I'm seeing it. I'm saying it. Horacio, definitely one of the favorites. We'll see if he can pull it off. He's been to one final. Maybe he can get to two. Maybe he can get a win early in his career and really jumpstart a crazy challenge career that could be in there. Huey, freaking fantastic selection. I love Huey. This should be really fun. Another one, I wasn't sure if he had actual interest, like the kind in public be like, yeah, I would do it again, but like actual, like, no, like you get the call, would you actually say yes and really want to do it again? And he did, and I'm glad he did, and I'm glad they called him, and it's a fantastic selection. James Lockie. He was on the Challenge UK. If you had not watched the Challenge UK, I urge you to do so. It's a fantastic season, and it's only 5 episodes. It's so short. It's so quick. You can watch it in like one night. He had about the absolute worst go of it possible. He fell from a high-up place, smacked into the water, and he didn't break anything in his face, I guess. Supposedly, did he break an orbital bone? Maybe a little bit. But if you didn't watch that season, but you probably watched Ride or Dies, and you remember what Olivia's face looked like after that horrific scene. Well, Lockie's looked. Neither of them looked worse. I don't want to say that. I believe Olivia's injuries were significantly worse. But Lockie's face was 100% swollen and change in color, and just like he literally had a full-blown mask on, like from ear to ear, chin to top of forehead, full mask on from this incident. And then he had maybe the weirdest breakup I've ever seen with a girl who had only ever flirted with him, but he like broke up with / broke his alliance with. Then he got eliminated. It was a crazy run. And I think I maybe said that I was good without him when I did the end of season wrap up for that. But UK people have always delivered on the Flagship. Our hit rate with anyone coming from any UK reality season to the US challenge it's not 100%, but it's freaking close. It's amazing. Essex reality stars really seem to always deliver. So I've got hope this works out. I also think if there was anyone I was like, people didn't really like him on that other season, and maybe people would maybe not like him here. Maybe we could get a villain. Is there a villain in this group? Maybe it could be Lockie. I don't know, but we need villains, and I nominate Lockie. We'll go with that. Jay is our second to last cast member, and I love Jay. I love Jay as the veteran of the guys. I love Jay and Michelle, maybe running the game. I can't say enough good things about Jay. I am thrilled, so thrilled that he and Michelle are in here together as those kind of the super vets. If anyone deserves, no, they're not super vets, but on this cast they basically are 3x most other people's experience in the challenge house. Fantastic, love it. Love Jay, and then Kylan. Thrilled he was the one to make the jump over to the Flagship. If they were, I kind of wish there would have been more than one person from Challenge USA into this. Obviously, I believe we've heard from Danny specifically, like, not going to happen. I might be done with the challenge. I don't remember if Sarah has said something similar. Obviously, Tyson was done first, right out the gate. But and we got in a lot. Some of the people that I was about to say right there, I'm like, oh, they did get on Challenge USA too. Like Alyssa and a few others. So if anyone was going to make the jump over, I'm really thrilled it was Kyland. I think he could be the next Leroy, the new kind of Leroy, as far as not the same like type of player, or politically game, anything like that. But the new Leroy, as far as just becomes beloved for just being a great dude. Everyone likes him. All the fans like him. All the cast members like him. He is good at the game, and so yeah, I think that's the lane he could go down, and that's a good lane to be in. If that were to come true, I think he would probably be happy with it himself. Maybe the no winning part, but still a great career from Leroy. Love Leroy. Love Kyland, and love this cast. That's all 24, and yeah, I don't think there's a single one on there that I was like, no, bad idea, but. It is only 24. Let's quickly talk about who isn't there. Because there were, while I don't really disagree with almost anyone they picked, there's a few I would maybe change out for a few of the people I'm about to mention. There's a few I would just add in, again, anticipating that this is an invasion season potentially, and that's why maybe there is another 6 to 8 people coming. But if they were like truly this style cast, but 32 of them or whatever, there's some people I would maybe add, some people we're talking about that are not there. The number one, the person who was reported to be there and then suddenly was reported not that he was left at the airport, and then he reported that, no, I didn't even go and I'm not going to do the challenge ever again, is Joss. And I don't know how many times I've mentioned it on this show. Probably not enough, given how much I think about it. But Joss and Jogan, is one of the... It's a travesty of the show that they did not cultivate the UK talent that they brought in on, Vendetta's Final Reckoning, War of the Worlds 1 and 2. And they just kind of let that fizzle when they'd done such an amazing job with casting. Everyone they brought in from the UK was awesome. And specifically, I adored Joss and Rogan on the show. And so when the first cast spoilers came out for the season and Joss was on the list, I freaked the fuck out. I was so happy. He's so perfect for this show, and he's also so freaking good at it, like competitively. Amazing, amazing athlete that it was. I still, him not winning Final Reckoning, I was, it's a pod for another day. Pod for a Final Reckoning pod, if you will. But yeah, Joss is great. He would have been my number one draft pick, again, of the people from that kind of UK invasion era that they let slip through the cracks. He would be my number one draft pick from that loaded group to have brought back in. But supposedly, whether he got left at the airport as an alternate or told never mind right at the last second, which the fact they do that to people is fucked up. That's very weird that people fly on the plane and then at the airport, they're like, never mind. We invited 28 of you. We weren't sure how many actually would finally get on the plane. And so a few of you don't get to actually come or even be alternates. But he says he's done with the show. Makes way too much money off his career to take time away from it and lose all of his clients. And I respect that. So good on him. Yeah, but bummer he's not there. Other people that are not going to be there. Recent rookies that I think would have been good on the show. Recent rookies that I think would have been good. Jack from Ride or Dies, I think would have been a great selection. Kells from Spies, Lies, and Allies. I really, really need Kells to be back on the challenge. Come on, give the guy another shot, please, and thank you. Priscilla from Spies, Lies, and Allies would have been great. Gabby Allen from Double Agents, who now is just... I mean, she was a solid athlete, certainly when she was on the show and was good on the show. And now she's like a crazy athlete and like that's her life and workouts and fitness and everything. And yeah, I need Gabby back on the show. I need Natalie Anderson back from Double Agents as well. And then the big one, the other big UK omission that I don't know if he has any interest at this point in doing the show. I don't know if he's getting calls or not, but I need Ashley Kane. If you haven't followed his story in recent years, go, do a little deep dive, get on Instagram. Very inspirational guy, has gone through a lot of heartbreak, losing his baby daughter, but is an incredible athlete, was incredible in his one season on this show, and, has an incredible message that he's now promoting all over the place and doing an amazing job. And I think he would be fantastic to bring back on the show. The other vets I would have then considered, so those were some recent rookies. Again, Jack, Kells, Priscilla, Gabby, Natalie, Ashley Kane. Were people I would have maybe considered that I thought would have been really good to bring into this style cast. Some other vets I would have at least thought about. Jenny and Rogan are out because they're champs. So those were my first two thoughts, is like Jenny West and Rogan. Come on, again, Jogan. Bring Team Jogan back. But they're champs, so they wouldn't fit the bill here. Maybe they would come back later in the season. If there is an invasion, those two being two of the champs would be a real step in me keeping the same excitement level for the season. The other three, though, that I thought of, I was like, this was the perfect season for Devon to come back. Perfect season for Devon to come back into this house. Would have loved to see that. Also, I know we got him on Challenge USA 2, and I'm thankful we do. I am excited to watch him there, but this also would have been a fantastic season for Paulie. For Paulie to come in, run the house, maybe even win, and then everyone else be like, nah, Paulie doesn't fucking count. Didn't beat anyone important. Didn't beat anyone good. Too bad. Doesn't count. And just, it would have been the best. It would have been the best. So he would have been great. And then Theo, we just saw him on World Championships. He's back. He's cleared to play. He would have been another one that's like, only a couple seasons, fit the bill. Could have been like kind of the small-time vet in this group of newbies. So those are some other vets I would have considered. But outside of that, we've covered a lot. Some final quick thoughts here. Final thoughts. Croatia right now, again, we said this earlier, but it's at least early summer, so hopefully it's warm. Hopefully they have a great pool. They just did Croatia for Spies, Lies, and Allies. I wonder, would they use the same house? That would be a first, I believe, in Challenge history. It was a pretty sweet house, so like I wouldn't be totally against it, I don't think, but like, are they going to go Survivor style and be like, all of our seasons are in Croatia in the same plot, the way it's always the same beaches in Fiji now on Survivor? This is not a Survivor specific podcast, so we're gonna end that tangent there. But TJ liked Croatia, so I think he'll be in a good mood. I assume he's always in a good mood hosting this show, but just a little extra one because I believe he really liked Croatia. And yeah, overall, I'll say what I said at the start. I really like this. I think it's needed. Fingers crossed that, maybe we do some mercenaries, maybe a lot of mercenaries, and it's not invasion. Fingers crossed it could be a duel 3. That would be incredible. But yeah, we don't know. It's probably going to be invasion, and there's probably going to be some vets coming in. But if they do, let's keep it individual. Let's make it harder on those vets, and let's really build some storylines. And we've got so much potential, so many stars within this group. I love this cast. That was my first thought. That is one of my last thoughts. Expect to see this late fall into the winter. I'm guessing if USA 2 starts beginning of August, maybe this season starts in early October, or early to mid-October, late October. If USA 2 is 10 to 12 episodes at most, I'd probably guess they would go right into each other and air through the holiday season. Maybe there would be a gap. Maybe we're not going to see this till like next January. Hope not. Hope not. If they're going to give us a long off season now, then we don't need more off seasons immediately after the next season we see. So probably late fall, early winter. Hopefully not like midwinter, but we will see. And yeah, that's all we got. Those are the initial reactions 2 weeks later. And as I said at the top, send in your ideas. If you've got topics, ideas for potential episodes during this offseason you'd like to see done, lists, topics, debates, what have you, anything, send those in. If you've got ideas for teams for a Rivals or X's season, if it happened during the OGs era in that 10 to 15 range, send those in. That will be the next podcast 2 weeks from today. And overall, thank you for being here. Send me those topic ideas. Send me those Rivals X's OG pairings. And have a great week. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Until we talk again. Peace.